Good evening, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is January 2nd. And yesterday, the new year started off with a 7.6 earthquake that has brought major damage, at least 50 deaths, and terrible chaos into Japan. But together with this, we have a sunspot that kicked off a X5 solar flare on the 31st or early on January 1st. This X5 solar flare is the worst solar flare of this cycle. And it's the worst solar flare since September of 2017. Okay, AR 3536. There's something strange about sunspot AR 3536. Its magnetic field is cockeyed. This magnetic map from NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory shows what we mean. All sunspots have two magnetic poles, plus and minus. They're supposed to be oriented side by side like this. Instead, the magnetic field of AR 3536 is perpendicular to normal. This twist may explain why the sunspot is so active. Twisted magnetic fields harbor extra energy for solar flares. In the past 2 days, AR 3536 has unleashed 4 M-class flares and an X5 class flare that ranks as the most powerful explosion of solar cycle 25 so far. Now, if we look at 3536 in the Hebrew concordance, it means a furnace or a kiln. This is used 4 times in the Bible. Genesis 19:28, it went up as a smoke of a furnace. Exodus 9:8, ashes of the furnace. And Exodus 9:10 and 19:18 also use as the smoke of a furnace. The last usage of this is from Exodus 19:18. It says, "And Mount Sinai was completely in smoke because Yahweh descended upon it in fire, and its smoke ascended like the smoke of a furnace and quaked the whole mountain greatly." Very interesting. This is talking about a great earthquake or a great tremor, a great shaking, together with this word 3536, furnace. And Exodus 19:18 was when God sounded his trumpet. Exodus 19 is on Mount Sinai when God sounded his own trumpet, the trumpet of God. Okay, Exodus 19. Now, this is also very interesting. In the Greek concordance, 3536 is a Ninevite. And this is in Matthew 12:41. It says, the men of Nineveh will stand and rise in judgment against this generation. Luke 11:30, this is a sign unto the Ninevites. 11:32, the men of Nineveh will stand up in judgment against this generation. And if we look up 11:32, the last usage of this in the Greek, the men of Nineveh will stand up in the judgment of this generation and will condemn it. For they repented at the preaching of Jonah, and behold, greater than Jonah is here. 3536. X5 solar flare, and it is still on the way to Earth. This has not impacted Earth yet. But I think this Japan earthquake may be connected to it, and we may see greater events happening connected with this. So we need to keep all of this in mind. Now, one other thing I wanted to share with you, if we look at the Gregorian calendar, January 2nd, we're going to see that on the Julian calendar, it is still only December 20th of 2023. There were 13 days taken off the calendar when it was switched from Julian to Gregorian. And so we are still in 2023. 2023 on the Julian calendar. And if we go to Gregorian January 13th, that is the last day of the year on the Julian calendar. So we are technically still in 2023. We need to keep that in mind. In the description box and in the first pinned comment, I'm going to leave information for you guys about an update I did earlier today for the Bridge of Love home here in Yucatan, Mexico. Please check out our updated report on all of the ministries we're doing here, and you can find out how you can support all of the ministry items that we are doing. Be a partner with us in this work. We thank you for taking the time to read the report, to pray for us, and for those who are able to give. I pray you guys are all blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.